Now, that thing we weren't supposed to talk about, we won't talk about it now. Let's keep everybody in suspense. In suspense.
Yeah. Don't tell me secrets, right?
Remember, we'll keep the secret telling to when we're not live. How do I get to the? Oh goodness, there we go. I'll mute that because then I can check the live chat in case people are talking to us.
Cool.
131 is the episode.
That's correct.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get our friends from 130 Point on, get Lane on last week for episode 130.
That's a sponsoring.
It would have been.
Mishap.
That would have been perfect. That would eBay 1 of 1 episode.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway.
130.1 of 1.
130.1 of 1.
This is gold. We should be putting this in the episode, Adam.
Well, we're live at the moment, so feel free.
All right. You ready to go?
Welcome everybody to episode 131 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We are your hosts, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson. It's Sunday night.
Yeah, happy to be here.
It's been a minute since the All-Star game. Do we want to just kick it off with that?
We can if you want, but I think for me in my head it's just prism at the moment. So
Prism.
I think if we're doing things chronologically though, we should do the All-Star weekend.
Well, it's very quick, the All-Star weekend. They need to change it, and they need to change it quickly.
Yeah, cool.
I
So
saw
what
the
did they
score,
change? Yeah.
and I don't know what somebody said it to me the other night. A friend of mine said they need to get a big sponsor on board, and it's literally like $25 million. Just throw it at it,
Yeah.
and
I
go.
agree with that.
The winning team gets this.
Yeah. And if
Like-
that doesn't motivate them to play hard, you know what motivates them to play hard?
Yep. Some massive monetary thing. It just make them play basketball again, because
Yeah.
this isn't the All-Star games where Kobe's going at Jordan and trying. And do you know what I mean? Like actually trying to play basketball.
But there is some cool matchups like Giannis and KD. Like that's a pretty sick matchup. I want to see those two play.
If
hard
they're
against
playing
each other.
hard against one another,
Yeah.
rather than soft as butter, and I don't know, some stuff the lowlights that I saw were not pleasing at all.
Did you watch the whole game or just the highlights?
I watched a couple of snippets and just I couldn't stomach it.
Yeah.
It felt like a real farce to yeah.
So
it was,
my normal tradition, and this has been happening for a long time for me now, is I watch the All-Star game and I order KFC and then we sit down and eat fried chicken and watch the game. It's just, don't ask me why, that's just what we do. And then I didn't do it last year, and then this year I didn't watch the game at all.
did you get fried
I
chicken?
watched- No, I didn't.
Should've.
But I can make up for fried chicken on another day. Like that's fixable, you know.
Exactly.
But look, I enjoyed the highlights. I thought that was good. So my takeaway out of this, and this is the one thing I want to talk to you about, and this is high-end speculation here. What did you think about the chemistry between Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic?
Interesting. It's interesting.
Like, you can't ignore that stuff.
True.
We've had so many Team USA interactions, then becoming teammates.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know,
there's chemistry
I
there.
love that. I love that sort of speculation when you're creating storylines out of, you know, absolutely nothing. And that to me is like, you know, pure conspiracy theories at its best. So I want to bookmark this moment in time if they do become teammates in the future.
You heard it here first. 25th
That's
of
it.
February 2024.
The second thing I wanted to talk to you about was the dunk comp.
Back to back, Mac MC Lung is in the house.
Who would you like to see in the dunk comp? Because I don't want to see Mac Like, I'm sorry, I know that's disrespectful, and he's a back-to-back winner, all that stuff, but I don't want to see this guy in the dunk competition.
He's gonna come in next year with like big gold chains and like
He deserves it. He's
just
back to
repping
back.
it.
Like, that's fine. He's earned his place. Like, you can't take that away from him. But let's just say he never was in there, which I don't think he should have been in the first place. Who should be there? Who
Jalen
would you
Brown,
want to see?
I thought he was fantastic.
Okay, cool.
I applaud Jalen Brown for giving it a crack.
100%. I'm not going to sit here and criticize the guy.
You know what? Let Aaron Gordon have another crack at it.
Yeah, cool.
Zach Levine's always injured these days, but do you know what I mean? Like, Aaron Gordon have the most 50s in dunk contest history without a dunk contest win? Like, you want to see those players, the ones that can dunk.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, this whole, we're scared we're going to get injured. I understand it's business, right? But part of this business is the All-Star game, and if it's a complete and utter train wreck when you're showcasing the best of the best, I don't know. I don't buy it the way it's packaged at the moment.
Did you see the clip of Stephen A going off about how LeBron James ruined the All-Star game and he's responsible for people not?
I've heard about the rant.
So, I need to tread carefully here. I agree with what he's saying to a degree. And so, for example, the dunk competition, the All-Star game, I don't think that's fair to put that onto LeBron, but the dunk competition, I definitely think that, because there was definitely times when LeBron still had the athleticism and just declined not to participate. And I think once the big dog stops stepping away, it makes it easier for the next person down, and then easier for the next person, and sort of so on and so forth. So that's probably where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
So,
oh, look.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't the first to do it, but it's definitely. Yeah, there's some trends that have been set. I don't know. What did you think of the Steph versus Sabrina thing?
I love that. I think that's the type of thing that actually brings excitement to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Steph Curry is such a great ambassador. So, okay, let's hold that thought in terms of what I just said about LeBron James, how he didn't want to participate, and then you've got someone like Steph Curry. But that's fun. It's fun to participate. It's fun to have a go, and it does create excitement. And
yeah.
So I think, my love for WNBA cards, and we were actually talking about this on the break the other night within the group, that I feel like there's a real sort of rising for WNBA cards, and more people are, beginning to chase them. And I think doing things like that, and look, I think she could have shot better. I'm not saying she shot perfectly, but at the same time, I thought
Isn't she 26 or something? Like it was.
I thought she showed out really well.
Yeah.
And I think she should be proud of herself and all that sort of stuff. I think that's great for WNBA, by the way, and
Yeah.
and the roll and effect for hobby, too. So, I love that a lot. Seeing that. I do want to take you back though. Who's the 4 dunkers that you want to see in a dunk competition?
All right, so I've got Aaron Gordon, Jalen Brown.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay.
Or I'm not really. I don't pay attention enough to in-game dunkers. They're like, I want to see someone that's won the title before have another crack at it. I think the winner. I mean, as obviously Mac McClung's back this year, so whoever the reigning champion is should return to defend their title, so to speak.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down with that.
But it's one of those. Maybe the fans should vote.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like maybe it's something that the fans should have a say on.
Like the starters of the All-Star game,
Correct.
Get to pick who goes in the dunk competition. Yeah, that's kind of cool, actually. That's a good idea.
Do you know what I mean? Because that is a popularity contest, right? We want to watch this person dunk.
Yeah.
You're not going to vote for the people in the 3-point contest
Why not?
Well, you could.
No, seriously, why not?
It's like feel like Dwight Howard would end up in a 3-point contest. It would be interesting, I guess. But
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like people would like someone would just get troll voted as a bad 3-point shooter into
Yeah.
the contest.
I was actually thinking Steph Curry in the dunk competition.
That would be funny. I would be like, come on, Steph, let's see what you got. Get him tired and have the dunk competition before the 3-point, just so his arms are a bit sore.
So, all right, for my dunk competition list, actually, I want to see LeBron. I know I'm
Okay.
not the biggest LeBron guy in the world, but I also know when someone is great, and I think he could do some cool stuff. So I think he should be there. I love Jalen Green. I think that guy is like ridiculous. Now, this next list, I was trying to get it down to 4, but it's not going to happen. I agree with you on the returning champ, Mac McClung.
Yep.
I want to see Derek Jones Jr. I think his dunking is just like out of this world. Then, so when I start to say these, you'll be like, oh, this is so obvious. Ja Morant
Oh yeah, for sure.
and Giannis. Can you imagine how sick that would be? Like those guys just,
Yeah.
face to face in a dunk competition.
I'd want to put someone that doesn't look like they dunk much, like a Luca or something.
Yeah, I reckon Luka would have a hard time.
Luca and Jokic, just chuck them in.
Yeah. It would be the first person to get a 1 on a made dunk, I reckon.
That's it. You turn it into this huge 3-point contest where both ends are going, and you put bad shooters as well.
So Lillard gets MVP, and I think that is relatively important for the season when you look back on it. I like that as an idea. I know Bill Simmons is like he thinks it's all about that. Maybe not so much these days because of the way that the competition's gone down. So I thought good opportunity for us to have a look at Lillard.
Okay.
This actually, I am shocked by this because I think with him changing teams, going to a genuine contender, even though they're not playing fantastic under Doc, I thought his prices would have skyrocketed. So in the last year, he's actually down. He's down 35%. If you zoom into, say, 3 months, he's pretty steady at -6%. So honestly, I would have thought he'd be up 35%, not down 35%. Sometimes all this stuff just makes me a little bit confusing, to be honest.
It's very interesting because there is stuff at the start of the start of the season when people are talking about, like Giannis has said that this is his team.
I'm fine with that. I still think there's room for Lillard in the hobby space.
I just don't know if the people in the hobby believe it. It's interesting.
He's actually down massively. So in the last 2 years, he's down 63%. So
That's more of a decline in Portland, though.
maybe that, and maybe the hobby. But so Pop 41 on this. This is a cool question. Buy, hold, or sell at 1,435.
I think it's a buy. I definitely think it's a buy.
Look, that to me is super intriguing, just for the fact of the championship potential.
Yeah.
I think Giannis has moved into that sort of, and I'm saying psycho in a complimentary way, where he just wants to win in that almost like Jordan crazy sort of way,
He's very focused on winning.
I think the firing of Griffin, like the blood is on his hands. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Final thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, Lillard's an interesting one, and maybe he's one of the underrated stars of the last decade, as far as hobby wise.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. So, what had me thinking about a segment was we're at the halfway point of the season, so why don't we talk about our best buys of the season so far? So, thank you everyone for contributing to the post. If we look at the You Can't Comp This One first ads, we've got Lachlan Blunt. He has got a dollar card, a pink cracked ice of Denny Adjeva. I think that's a really good buy at the moment, actually. I think Denny's on a really bad team. The only thing I would say about him is that anything you're buying with Denny is in my mind, a 3-year window. There's no quick flip in Washington.
Yeah, that's true.
I like his legs. I like the way that he plays. I think he plays with a lot of hustle and athleticism, and I think he's got his head screwed on the right way, despite being in a really terrible situation in Washington. So
Next up,
yeah,
Anthony Milne.
yeah, this is a ripper.
This is a ripper. Patrick Ewing auto from Ultimate. Is it Upper Deck? Is it? What's the set? 2003 Ultimate Signatures.
Yeah, Upper Deck.
It is Upper Deck?
Yeah, absolutely.
Patrick Ewing. It's a nice piece. Very nice piece.
So I'm almost getting daily DMs from a very, very passionate Patrick Ewing collector. And he's engaging with Pat to do private signings.
Oh, wow.
So
Interesting.
I've just paused the recording for a second. I'll just pull up his Instagram. Give me 2 seconds. I'll find that. I'm not joking. He literally messages me like,
Really?
this guy's collection is just out of this world. That's what I'm looking for. Here we go.
I'm just going to go and love react all the posts. You may have noticed that there's an extra one on this one that just came on before the show.
Oh, what have you put in?
I put in one of my cards.
Oh, cool. No, that's totally fine. Sorry, I thought you meant like, yep. All right, you ready? I'm going to resume.
Let's do it.
So if you want to see some insane Patrick Ewing cards, go to Instagram, Patrick Ewing Collectibles _33. It's just unbelievable, this guy's collection. Yeah, check him out. What have we got here in the list? From Matthew Hull. He's got a lovely Halliburton in a Pacers uniform. That's a beautiful card. Good job, Matt.
From Recon. Yeah, nice one.
Oh, and this is from you, Adam. I better do this one.
You better do this one. I'm not, yeah.
Makes more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A Scottie Pippen Kaboom. So this is your favourite pickup this year?
This season, yeah, the Kaboom that I got when we were at the,
That's fair enough.
the hobby
That's
hangout.
a very amazing pickup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
And
pickup. So,
well, listener, friend of the show, Jono Williams, is the one that let me know that it was available. So
yeah, right.
he saw it, yeah.
And have you done a bit of research into this now? Like, do you know the pop on it?
No idea.
Yeah, okay.
No idea.
Don't care. Just love the card. It's in my collection.
Love the card. Really disappointed I didn't actually get to do the meet and greet with Scotty this weekend. A couple of friends did. They went to the No Bull tour last
What did
night.
they say about it?
Really good night out. Incredible night out. And then another friend, he updated his profile picture with a photo of him and Scotty, which I'm incredibly jealous about. But yeah.
Do you enjoy meeting celebrities?
Sports heroes, I do enjoy the meeting point. Yes.
Okay.
It's not like a starstruck, don't know what to say, but it's just like after witnessing everything that athlete has accomplished, to just go up and kind of shake their hand and go, "You've done some amazing things," and just that acknowledge, just sort of to be that close and yeah. They've seen a lot of the world, like that high elite level of competition is just, it's like yeah.
I definitely agree with you in that there's a very strong correlation between high performing athletes and then other people who are high performing in their career and stuff like that. They've all got kind of like similar personality typings.
Yeah.
Alrighty. This is from Alan Wadder. He's actually put up a few. So that looks to me like a fractal rookie card of Anthony Edwards. Then a Tyrese Halliburton numbered to 25. That is amazing. And that looks like from the Don Russ Clearly set. Nice card there. And then the last one he's got is a Anthony Edwards autograph. So, and again from Revo. So I'm picking up a bit of a theme of shiny cards there that Alan likes in his PC. So they're all beautiful cards, mate. Thanks for sharing.
What have we got next? Jamie Fogg. It's a nice Jalen Duren. That's what's that? That's Court Kings.
So that's a level 3. So
Yep.
that's a pretty tough pull, to be honest. So, yeah,
Yeah, nice.
beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah. Ados Uchos, again, actually, we should mention this. Thank you for coming on the show last week.
Yeah.
What did you think of him on the show last week?
Very.
Anything you wanted to rebut or put back to him?
No
Now that he
rebuttals.
can't reply to us.
No. I'll sit calmly. It was a good listen. I actually tuned in through the week at work, and it was easy listening.
Yeah. Panini Revolution, Josh Hart Galactic. So that's the case hit there.
Oof.
Yeah, lovely one PSA 9 on that.
That is very nice.
And his boy Shengun on the deep blue. So I'm gonna guess that is numbered to 125, but please don't quote me on that.
The blue be 199, I reckon.
Okay.
199?
I'll take you on that.
I think it is. Or 149. Anyway.
There's a heap of cards here, isn't there?
There is a few.
How about we just pick out, say, 2 more, and then we'll close this one off.
What about Damo Winterbonds?
Sure. You
That-
go. Yeah, do that.
That's a hell of a car.
It's the most Damo thing we've got.
It is a very Damo. I'll go a couple up though. There's a Sean Alloway. He's close second because his first one was a James Harden. Is that a blank slate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer the one below it, which is well, of course I prefer it. It's a Scottie Pippen Dunkin' Donuts. In a Houston jersey.
I always honestly thought those cards said donuts, Dunkin' Donuts.
I think they'd make more sense as Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And then you change the basketball to a donut and just...
Yeah.
Wow, we're not in marketing. Oh, boy.
We've definitely missed our calling, right? So I think I'll finish off with this one. This is from Oyvind. So Oyvind, thank you so much, mate, for contributing this one. This is the Anthony Edwards red stainless stars. And in true Oyvind fashion, who loves a good set collect, he did the whole set. So
Wow.
beautiful chase, mate. As
Very
always,
impressive.
keep up the good work. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of ant going around.
Yeah. So buyout targets. Let's talk about buyout targets because it is that time of year. Where are you at with people being bought out, people joining teams? There hasn't actually been a heap of action, has there? Killian Hayes got waived. That's the big one I've been keeping an eye on. He's still...
Killian Hayes was waived. Yeah, that was interesting, especially given it's sort of there's a lot of teams that do need like sort of backup guards.
Yeah, so keeping that in mind, so Joe Harris, that's the other one. I'm really confused as to why he hasn't been picked up. I feel like he's a surefire NBA player for the next 10 years, so a bit confusing on that one. Thad Young has joined the Phoenix Suns. I think that's a really good pickup for them, just for a veteran, a big body, all that type of stuff. And look, they probably need another center there, but at the same time, he can play some pinch minutes there, so that's pretty good. And then I think the other one is Danilo Gallinari. He's actually joined Doc in Milwaukee, so...
Okay, Gallinari off to Milwaukee.
Look, there's no hobby value there at all. I don't...
Like, I don't think there's much, hobby-wise. I don't know, maybe if Killian Hayes does end up with a different team, that might be relevant.
Definitely, I think that's one to watch, but...
Everything else.
Heavy investing in Killian Hayes at the moment. I'll describe that as high-risk behavior.
High-risk behavior.
Absolutely.
Yep. Matthew Hull, Killian to the Bulls. I don't know if that's official or just a thought.
Great. Okay. If he is, that's fantastic. That's exactly what the Bulls need. And I haven't seen that reported yet. So
I'm like, my big one was I was looking at Seth Curry as well.
Has he been bought out?
He hasn't. But he's with the Hornets. So just a thought from Matthew.
Yeah, sure. I was going to say I hadn't seen that reported. So now I cannot remember the person who said this to me. So this is not my own organic idea, but Seth Curry going to the Hornets is deliberate to try and get Steph there.
Oh, of course.
How juicy is that?
Of course. And he's wearing he's wearing Dell's number, I believe.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah. So,
Alrighty, so
yeah.
a little bit of injury news happening here. We've got a bit of quick hitting stuff tonight, haven't we? Dyson Daniels has suffered a meniscus tear in his left knee and sidelined indefinitely. I
That's
haven't been
rough.
able to find a updated injury report on this guy, but look, I think from the Pelicans' point of view, particularly the way that they use him as a literal, you know, jack of all trades, I think that's a big loss for them.
Yeah.
I think in terms of, moving forward for him for his hobby value, I don't see this as being, disastrous. And he hasn't got, huge hobby values at the moment anyway, so I can't really see him cratering at all.
Yep.
Is this a good buy opportunity? Look, actually, it potentially could be because he might see a
Maybe.
small dip and you can sort of get in there. I think his NBA potential is totally fine. I don't think this is going to set him back. And I think the other insurance policy too, particularly for Australians, there's always going to be that homegrown element and interest and stuff like that. So I think that's he's going to be totally fine.
He'll be fine. Yeah.
The one that I am concerned about is this next one. So Pat Wills. So he's basically had a stress reaction in his foot. The symptoms that he had was bone edema, and so now they've found that he's got a foot stress reaction. So essentially, he's going to have surgery and he's done for the year.
Yeah. Concerning.
I think my gut feeling with this guy now is this is the second sort of major or long-term injury, whether you call a foot major or not. I think it is. I mean, KD's had ongoing foot problems. There's been other NBA stars that have had foot problems and have come back and had very successful careers. I think my issue with this guy is actually I thought he was making really nice progress this year. I was going to say significant, but that's probably going a little bit OTT. Look, I thought defensively he was playing well. I thought rebounding he was definitely, getting that. And offensively he was picking his spots and dare I say it, he was actually driving the ball to the basket. I think for him that's major, improvement.
Yeah.
Look, I think if you look at this from a cup half empty, you say he's already a bit of a slow poke. He's already seems to be a little bit undermotivated. Now he's got this horrible injury that he needs to, finesse for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I get that. On the cup half full, he's still very young.
Yeah, that's very reasonable. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Look, I was saying this before that he was injured, that the Bulls should have been blowing it up. And I'm quadrupling down on this. They should have blown that team up, particularly now their best player is, well, in my mind, their best player is now out injured.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just think this is devastating
you were
for their team.
doubling down. Now you're triple doubling down.
Yeah.
To keep it basketball relevant, I guess.
I'll settle with a triple double, but you can get a quadruple double.
It's
There
true.
was a female high school player that had a quintuple double this week. Hope I said that word right.
Quintuple double. It just sounds wrong.
I wish I had that much talent out on the basketball court.
Was it Drake? Nah, Draymond got a triple double without points.
Yeah. Was that technical fouls? Was it?
No, it was
what
steals. It was steals. It was
That's
rebounds.
low hanging fruit, isn't it?
Poor Draymond.
Yeah.
Poor Draymond.
So we need to start practicing this. I think we should say we're about to go for a break now.
Yes.
And our first advertisement for this week is our friends at EJ Cards. They've very kindly given us a promo code for our listeners of free express shipping on orders greater than $50. If you go to our Facebook page, I've pinned it at the top of the listings. You'll find it in the featured post. It's either going to be the first or the second post. It's a very long-winded promo code, so you need to copy and paste it in. If you want the T's and C's, it's all in the comments. Basically, you just can't ship too much heavy stuff for the free shipping. But if you're buying cards and you're buying boxes, it'll be totally fine.
I can give it a crack reading out the code if you want.
Yeah, totally fine. Go nuts.
Y9DJ48AR8TBC.
TCB.
Almost gave them the wrong code.
Close enough.
All caps, by the way.
All caps, absolutely.
Shouting out that code.
So again, thank you EJ Cards for all your support and everything that you've done for us, and they have re-signed back up with us again. So
Sensational.
Very good. Yeah.
Get cracking
All
with those
right.
promo codes.
Absolutely.
Maybe
So
they can work on giving us a one that's like YCCT.
I did mention that to Rob, and he said that it's in the pipeline.
Nice.
But in the interim, people can copy and paste it and
Yeah.
save some cash. So,
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
So we completely segued the whole show tonight. I wanted to talk about Prism, and we just
I did that, didn't I?
25 other things first.
I was like, let's go to All-Star Weekend and then forget about the start of the show. I'm so sorry. Let's go back to
accept your apology.
Let's go back to Prism.
Right, let's just talk about Prism. I think we have to talk about this. Look, so these are my thoughts so far about Prism. Is that Photo dropped before Hobby this year, which is totally fine. That's how it happened. And then day one, a breaker in China hit the 1 of 1 black shimmer, which is just really blows my mind how quickly cards are just being ripped these days. And I'm actually not too sure. Is it because there's more product being ripped, or is it just the fact that there's more social media, displaying all this stuff, or is it I'm just spending more time on Instagram these days? So,
combination of everything.
Yeah, probably is right, isn't it?
Probably a combination of the lot. I'm shocked to see so many big hits for Wemby.
Yeah, it's been crazy, hasn't it?
Like so early.
Yeah.
It's very that's. Is this going to devalue the product?
No, I think it's exact opposite.
You reckon it's gonna create demand?
So I think at the moment people are just it's just a fever pitch. Like people are just going absolutely nuts for this stuff, and frankly, rightfully so. Like there's a very strong argument to be made that this is the product of the year because these are essentially the chase cards for Wemby.
Yes. Well, given that there's no autographs on anything, and this one doesn't say no autograph.
I will find it very difficult that you can change my mind that the Donruss no autograph, or the non-autograph, as I was calling it on the podcast, is going to be more important than the 1 of 1, or the number to 60, or the number to 125, or even like a silver.
Yeah.
So
that said, can I question this card that's been pulled?
Talk to me.
So that's just the first off the line 1 of 1. There's a different 1 of 1 and another set with a 1 of 1.
Yeah, then there'll be the choice Nebula 1 of 1 too. So, and look, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't comb checklists as much as you probably would. I don't go to sleep at night going through all the checklists. That's generally not what I do. But
it's
that's something we can do in the future. Is go through the checklist and have a look at it. But at the same time too, I mean, is that exciting podcast content? I mean, probably not. We could touch on a couple, but
I'll tell you what. I'm watching the 1 of 1 get pulled. That guy needs to put that card down before he wrecks it.
I think that's high risk activity. I agree with you.
That is really unsettling. Watching this video of a guy hand shake,
and he's going nuts too, isn't he?
Like he's. I'm just looking at veins popping on his wrist. It's just like, you need to let that card go.
I wonder if they're the backyard breaks version of breaking in China.
Impossible. It's no, I can't. I've got to close that. It's just that's actually.
Freaking you out.
Yeah.
So look, a few others have been pulled too. So the black gold number to 5 has come out. I actually think in terms of the aesthetics of it, that is a really, really pristine looking card.
It is.
And then other thing I put into the run sheet too to talk to you about is I think over the years we've made our very fair share of jokes about backyard breaks, and we've also speculated about them, getting loaded boxes and all the rest of it. But what they did do recently, which I think we need to pay them kudos for, they actually set up breaking headquarters at PSA, so that when the big Wembies came out, they paid for the Super Express. I'm sure they paid, other money in addition to that too.
Ow.
walk the card in. 30 minutes later, it's been slabbed. So the orange number to 60, which is what they hit in their break, 30 minutes later, it's out and PSA 10. So
Wow.
I think that's the type of stuff that do we start seeing that more often happening?
That's crazy.
It's such a good idea though, Ad.
Look, don't get me wrong. That's brilliant marketing. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, if you've got that platform, you have to use it, I guess. And they've done that very well.
That's so clever, and I think that's the type of thing that, we can throw as much shade as we want at these guys and all the rest of it, but they are also smart dudes, and I think you can't take that away from them. That's just an absolute home run. So congrats to the Brains Trust, whoever thought that out. I think that's fantastic. And then this sort of leads me into my second point too. The other thing I've been very surprised, actually that's not the right thing, but I've just noticed it a lot, is how much product is being sold. Like, these Wembies are just being flipped over at an alarming's not the right word, at an amazing rate.
Yeah.
And again, is this something that I'm just noticing? Is this just a new thing in the hobby? Or is it just that, the excitement is back and, people are buying and selling cards again? I think...
Yeah. Possible.
I think this is a really, good thing for the hobby, that we now have this, like, really big, sort of chase card coming back again. And this, cards that people are excited about. And we were talking about this off air. So if you go to 130 Point, you search for Victor Wembanyama Prism, you can, bring up all the cards that are in. So, like, an insert out of Prism that's a silver sold for 45 US, another insert silver sold for 75, a base, so not even a silver, a base sold for 85 euros, which is probably like around 130 Aussie dollars. So, it's big bucks. 1,500 pounds, which is essentially 3,000 Aussie. That's a Prism Draft Picks card number to 10.
Crazy.
I just think, I think to a degree, some of these purchases are probably not going to go down in the best way. But I also think too that we've had so much negativity. We've had so many people saying, the hobby's failing and dying, and whatever else the negative Nellies have been rolling out. This to me is the complete opposite. This is almost going back to nonsense territory of a couple of years ago, when base cards were selling for stupid amounts of money.
Yeah, when it was obviously the Lucas and Tatums that were like $200 to $300 a piece, or
right, exactly. Yeah. So look, I'm actually not even going to sit here and say some of these purchases are bad. I'm not going to say that. I'm actually sitting here saying, do you know what? If people are happy doing this and this is what they want to do, I say more power to you guys, honestly. And and maybe this is my closing thought about this Prism / Victor Wembanyama sort of scenario. Just the speed of the hobby is the thing that's really catching my eye. How quickly breakers are getting cards out to people who are then getting them out to the secondary market. And obviously it's a very unique example, but
and offer grading.
Yeah, how quickly people are getting cards back from grading. Like, there's SGC cards already on the secondary market. Obviously that PSA card, I think that's going to do really well. That number to 60 PSA 10.
Oh, the fact that, like, they're at headquarters, so if a big card breaks,
30 minutes later, they've got it there.
They walk it in to get graded.
Literally walked it in,
It's nuts.
Final thoughts for you on Wembanyama?
I need to get me some Prism, because I feel like I'll miss out.
That's right. See, that sort of illustrates my point. I think the excitement is back.
This is good.
Yeah.
Let's see how accessible the product is. But yeah.
There's heaps of blasters floating around, man.
Yeah. And I think I'm just going to go and, treat myself to some Prism blasters maybe, rather than random repacks.
It's too soon to talk about this.
Yeah, I know. I don't want any more Boston cards. That's all I can say.
You could trade with Al. Alrighty, next in the run sheet. This is from you, Ad, so I might let you guide this one through, but Darius Garland, Flawless.
I have a card versus card, that I spotted the other day with our lovely friends at Card Ladder.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it when we get these, when I see them pop up in my newsfeed.
Yeah, they're cool, aren't they?
And it's not like we're not talking about a Jordan versus LeBron or anything like too crazy,
Yeah.
but this is a 1920 Panini Flawless. Um, yeah, it's a Garland patch, 9.5 numbered to 5. Is it? Yep, the Emerald. Nice chunky patch too. It's a rookie patch. Last sold for 3,300 versus Tyrese Maxey vertical patch auto rookie auto. PSA
Interesting.
9.
Yeah.
Both sold for 3,300. Now, look, it's probably a non comp when you think about the trajectory both players are kind of on, because is Garland still injured, isn't he?
He's back now.
Oh, he is back. But Maxi's just had this mega spike this year. So I think Max, yeah. Just as I say this, John O'Michaels has joined the chat. I'm taking the Maxi all day.
Yeah, yeah.
But I still think it's props to Garland for this. What are your thoughts?
I think when I initially looked at this, it's almost a no-brainer that you're going for the vertical RPA. I think that's
For sure.
I think that's pretty steady, but so I think you need to almost think about the flip side. So why would someone spend 3,300 on that, and particularly when it's SGC, it's not PSA. So I think you really need to look at this, maybe zoom out a little bit. Like, is Maxi just having a good year? And in addition to that, the shackles that was James Harden have been taken off him, and now Embiid is also not playing, and maybe he's got a coach that's more suited to him than what Doc was. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything's sort of falling to the right place. But
Yeah.
when you zoom out and then you sort of say, well, hang on a second, in 5 years, who is going to be the better player? Is Darius Garland actually got more potential, a higher skill level? He's just had a rough year. Look, I think that injury that he had was a freak injury, and it's not like a foot or a knee or a shoulder even.
No.
Yeah.
But
His job's going to be fine.
It's interesting because I just having a look, like the card ladder value on each card. The Garland card ladder value is 1,778, and the card ladder value of the Maxi was 5,445.
Look, there is a difference between the two cards in that the Maxi is to 15 and the Garland is to 5. So I think you have to, somewhat consider that. You then also have to consider the autograph thing. I do think the autograph adds value to the Maxi card.
For sure. I don't disagree. I'm on the Maxi.
Yeah, I'm probably in that place too, and this is probably going to be my final thought here. I wonder if the person who bought this was just like a Garland super fan.
That's possible.
Maybe there was some shill bidding going on.
You
can't rule that out on eBay or
That's
any
true.
other bidding platform. Like, let's be realistic here, but yeah, I gotta say, I think in terms of a card being liquid and you being able to sell it in the future, I think the Maxi is probably the card that you'll be able to turn over a little bit easier, whereas to me that Garland is high-end PC. So I think whoever bought that
bought it for a reason.
Badly wanted that card.
Yeah, for sure.
So look, I would say congratulations to both buyers. I think they're wonderful pickups, and there's a small piece of me that's a little bit, envious of these type of things when I see them. It's like,
any other card ladder headlines?
Look, I'm going to keep putting Halliburton in because I think when we look back on this sort of 12 months, I think Halliburton is going to be one of the more important hobby players. And when I'm saying players, I mean PLAYAS. This is the Tyrese Halliburton Choice Green Prism, which is number 28. It just recently sold for 4,440. Look, this is starting to move into that sort of rarefied air of, you're paying, huge amounts of money for these cards.
Mm.
The real question is, and I think I'm sort of almost echoing what I think you're going to say here, is you're paying future prices for this.
Yeah.
I actually see this as quite a risk, just for the fact of, once you're sort of moving over that 2,000, 3,000, there's not that many buyers out there who are, willing to pay that. So what is this person betting on? Are they betting on that Halliburton's top three in MVP this year, that he's all NBA first team?
Is that what they're
what they're hoping for?
investing in,
He's
or
going to be that next year, or is he going to be the MVP in 2 years' time? Because my Steve Nash analogy in my head is rock solid. I think this kid is ridiculously good.
So why don't we look at Steve Nash as a comparison? Yeah. And the answer is because there are none. No, Steve Nash.
Steve Nash is tough to comp though. I feel like
I don't want the tops. I want Topps Chrome.
Either I did this in my own private time, or we did this on a show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
The number of variants between 1996 and now it's almost like two different universes, really.
Look, the Topps Chrome
Yeah,
base.
that's fine. Let's do that one. Yeah.
Topps Chrome base, pop count of 164, PSA 10.
Yeah.
Last sold for $500.
Yeah.
Now the refractor, last sold.
What's that going for? Because that's really the one that's...
You compared to all the prism variations, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Pop count of 6.
Yeah, right.
No last sold data. Sorry.
Sure. If you go to
no
all-time,
trend. Last sold November 20th, 22.
Sure, that's fine.
For 5,700.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But it's a pop count of 6.
Sure, I mean, okay, so why don't we use that as a direct comp, right? So then actually in that case, that 4,400 for number to 8 card is not as outrageous as I was initially thinking.
Yeah. If we're comping it to Steve Nash, then he's got a little way to go, maybe another $1,000.
But he also needs to win 2 MVPs as a minimum.
Yeah, it's not much of a gap. Yeah.
I mean, to win 2 MVPs, that's rare. Again, rare.
Very rare. Yeah. He's got a long way to go. Yeah, I thought he was going to get All-Star MVP when I started watching, because I only watched sort of the first quarter and then tuned out. But yeah, I thought Halliburton was going to get MVP.
Yeah.
Because he lit it up early.
This next card is for our friend of the pod, Joe Fu.
Shaq Fu 32.
Yep. 1996 Z-Force Shaquille O'Neal Slam Cam PSA 10.
Pretty card.
If you look at the ladder on this, it's just exponentially gone up from basically...
Looks like a slide, not a ladder. Backwards, but like it's gone up. But
yeah, a reverse slide.
Yep.
A flying fox, maybe.
Yeah. Like cable car, I don't know, just ski lift.
So last sold for 2,500.
Impressive.
So yeah, I put this in because it's Shaq, but I also put it in too is because I think there is space where people are going back and looking for undervalued inserts and undervalued cards. And actually, I want to do this as a segment, like get people to share their secrets. And I have the feeling that not that many people are going to be willing to share their secrets, just for the fact that they won't feel comfortable with it. They feel like, they're giving away free money or whatever. But
yeah,
I think that would be a really fun segment to do, because you could sort of look at all these cards that were like undervalued and just sort of sitting there, and they're beautiful cards, or whatever that it is. So,
we could get our conspiracy hats on.
Oh, I love a good conspiracy.
And go back to an insert set from like the 90s.
Yeah.
And look at a couple of the cards and then have a projection and be like, is this going to spike? Is this going to stay?
Yeah.
Stay or spike? Put it
There's a small part of me that actually wonders that do all these cards eventually spike, in that the print run's done. People are going to become nostalgic at some point.
Look, we know there's a lot of stuff from the 90s, but there's also, like, getting stuff in, looking at the pop counts here. Like, that's got a pop count of 10.
10, yeah.
So PSA 10s.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Thad Young, we've already spoken about that. Oh, this one's a little bit of a comedy piece. So Jacques Vaughan has been fired from the Nets. So essentially now they're paying 4 coaches at once now, which is just like
It's getting a bit silly, isn't it?
it's getting mind blowing for me. So the Kevin Ollie hire actually, I think, is an absolute no brainer. This guy should have been a head coach, years ago. I know he's had some personal stuff sort of bubbling in the background, but you just need to read the Ime Udoka case files just to realize that there are some people who are just legitimate NBA coaches, and
Yeah.
you almost need to sort of put that bag down and like what the French do with their politicians. They don't let their personal lives become intertwined with their professional lives. I think in some ways NBA coaches need to be treated the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
Do I think this makes much of a difference? Look, I'll have to have a look at the Nets rotations to see what changes he's making and all that type of stuff. But I gotta say, I can't imagine there's going to be huge ripples in that place.
No.
The one I'm probably worried about is Cam Thomas. I do worry that Kevin Ollie's not going to tolerate his lackadaisical approach to the defensive end and inability to pass the ball. I think that's going to be very difficult for Ollie to manage. But at the same time, I think that guy, Cam Thomas, should be in the rotation. So just 2 more things tonight, Ad, and then we can
tie it all off.
Yeah. So this is just another card that I chucked in because I saw it and I thought it looked interesting, so
I always like that.
And I'm going to put this down to a little bit of I don't understand this and I don't know why. But I'm also going to put this into the previous segment of what we were just saying of is there just a point when every card becomes something? 1987 Fleer of Nate McMillan. So Nate was a very good player. I'm not throwing shade to the guy, but I never would have thought one of his cards would be selling for 1,800 USD. Pop of 21. It's just a base card. If you look at the graph there, since 2007, he's just had an absolute exponential rise.
I don't understand this one.
What am I missing here? Yeah.
I'm stumped. I'm actually stumped.
Because I think for me, where my head at with this is, again, whoever bought this, I think they bought it for a very deliberate thing. I think, we were talking about the Garland before. That's the same sort of thing here. But what can you get for $1,800? You can get a low-end Giannis autograph.
Do you know what you can get? And I'm just using the Instagram page.
Spotlight. You could get a lot of sneaker spotlights for that price.
You can get the Anthony Edwards PSA 9 Pulsar, pink Pulsar to 42.
Yeah.
Rookie.
Yeah. You could probably get a LeBron high school autograph for that. They're sort of being moved at the moment. They're very
or a base Nate McMillan.
That's where I sit with this one. It's like, what else could you get for that $800 that would?
So comment in the
Talk to me.
In the Facebook feed. Anthony Milne straight away. I wish I had friends to shield bid my cards when I put them up. Nate McMillan's clearly got a few buddies. I don't know who's buying that card and why. It's an eBay 1 of 1 jersey numbered. Oh, the grade matches the jersey number. Of course. That's why it sold for so much.
Maybe this is it, Look, anyway.
So a PSA 1 is a Wemby 1 of 1.
I'm just going to put this into the case of, I just don't know. So look, if anyone is listening and they would like to, and would like to enlighten me, I'm really interested to know, what is the
story?
Of this card. Yeah.
What is the story with this card?
Yeah. Alrighty, I lied to you, Ad. There's 2 more things for tonight. Two
Oh,
more quick ones. eBay updating their fees. I feel
oof.
like this is almost just like how milk just keeps going up. This is just the same thing. So
Yep.
they're increasing their fees from 12% to 12.35%, a difference of 0.35%. Thank you, eBay, for highlighting that for us. The other thing too is that they've just pointed out that the low end cards, they're not going to increase it. So if your cards are under $10, it's a flat 30-cent fee. It's for cards that are greater than $10. Look, how do I feel about this? I don't think it matters that much. I think eBay has such a stranglehold on the marketplace in some ways they can just do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
I would probably add to this too in that they have done some really, really good things in the last 12 months
Yep.
in terms of keeping the hobby safe,
Yeah.
the authentication program that they've implemented. I think that despite, yes, there are problems with that, I think that's a very good initiative. And then the other thing too is their agreement with ComC is, just amazing. I think that's just so clever that,
That's true.
again, whoever did that should give you a very good promotion. So, look, I'm not going to sit here and rag on them for a 0.35% increase. I will say, though, that there is also a point when people will move away. So, when do you step up to that line? And
Well, that's why they didn't go for point 0.4.
such a small raise. Why bother?
Yeah. Well, the way you multiply that over thousands and thousands of users, and
But do they need that money? Like, isn't that? I
they're
feel like
not
that.
they're not going to complain about it.
I just feel like that 0.35% is more like a niggle to their customers than a win for their back pocket. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
they see
true.
the true sort of like net gain in that space. So look, I disagree with it. I don't think it's great, but at the same time, I can't really destroy them over this either. I'm not going to go Stephen A. Smith over this. Look, this is a good one to end on. Add this Camelo auto.
Yeah.
The reason I want to talk to you about this was because when I initially saw the card, I was genuinely confused about what I was seeing. And we've had a few different
I
comments on the page about this. Someone said Skylar Mays. Someone said Al said Sean Kemp. And David Rolfe said Skylar Mays. And I have to admit with you, that was more what was going through my head when I first saw it. So
I thought it was Mitch Gray that said exactly. Well, no, it was Timothy Price.
So what they're saying here is actually correct. And when I read into it a little bit further, actually the most correct answer is from David Gibson. It's
really?
Stay Mellow, but the L is actually a 7. And it's this whole branding thing that he's done. So do you remember when LaMelo got into trouble for putting those branding tattoos on himself? Carmelo has just found a loophole to this. So if you sign your autograph with an item branding, that's okay to use. Maybe though he's post his NBA career, so it's okay.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you think about that as an autograph in terms of something that's not their name?
Mello's still his name. Like, it's his nickname. It's Carmelo. Like, I don't know. It's the difference between writing something and then signing, and yeah, writing a phrase. I mean, you can't really deny someone what their autograph is.
The phrases make me absolutely froth.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. The more customized it is, the better.
Even if they're stupid phrases that I don't understand or I don't get, it's still, there's just something about that just makes me go like nuts. And so this Stay Mellow one, I really like this, particularly now I understand it. At first I was like, oh, like, is this the wrong sticker? That's what I was worried about. But also too, you have to also like keep this in contrast to people who just do like a squiggle or do like a line or like a circle that looks like an apple that's an A or something like this, So I think this is super cool. And I've always felt this about Carmelo, that he was almost a culture leader in the same way that I think about Iverson. So the fact that he's now
Ah,
got this like branded signature is like to me so Carmelo, and he's just almost so forward thinking. So I'm super psyched about this. The other thing about this too is, and I'm kind of hoping this is going to be a future trend, just like how Duncan is going to be in products in the next couple of years. I don't really feel like I've seen a lot of Carmelo the last few years. So if he is coming back to products, if they've spent this mellow on, if they've spent, if Panini has spent their money on Carmelo instead of Wembanyama
yeah.
and Scoot Henderson and Brandon Miller, yada yada yada, I'm kind of okay with this. And this is something that I don't want to say this to like offend people, but are you actually better to spend your money on a Carmelo autograph than a Scoot Henderson?
It's interesting. It's,
And I'm not trying to be mean about, I'm not trying to like
well,
call him out or,
it's a career defined player versus someone that's starting in the game.
we go crazy for rookies, right? But actually, should we be going crazy for Carmelo autos, and should we be going crazier for Tim Duncan autos? The Duncan stuff is the one I'm waiting for, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm already like saving up my cash. Like,
Yeah.
if there is some wild, flawless patch Duncan autograph, like I want that in my special box. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree.
All right. That's my final rant for today. So, final thoughts, Ad, and we'll sign off this bad boy.
How would you sign your cards?
It's almost like trying to think about your DJ name, isn't it?
It is like, we know Mac McClung's going to be Mac MC Lung. Just like DJ equipment all the time. Anyway, no, it's just like, would I, yeah, I don't know. Would I put like my little squiggle and then, I don't know, smiley face or something?
I think I'll just write Gibson.
Okay. Ads and then put a television.
You okay?
I don't know. Probably wouldn't.
That's about as probably as flamboyant as I can get, to be honest, just writing my name, Gibson.
The thing, if you do put an image or some kind of symbolic thing with it, you've got to keep doing it.
Like the Stay Mellow thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta kind of embrace it and keep running with it. Hashtag YCCT.
No, actually, I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to do an Admiral Schofield. So that dude did not know how to write in script writing until he was asked to do an autograph. So he sat down with a pen and paper and learned how to write like that.
That's pretty cool.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to practice it so it's as beautiful as a Schofield. Yep.
Beautiful. Anthony Milne says he signed his with a phone number. Girls hated it.
Did they?
Did they though?
Alrighty, guys. Let's sign this up here before this goes down too far down the
Down the proverbial rabbit hole.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Take it easy.
Thanks for another great episode. See you next week.